If it ends in a tie, they would split the first and second place
Yeah,
money.
but what about the trophy? Do they split that too?
Then I will hope and pray with all my very theistic beliefs that there's not a tie, because that would be the literal worst thing in the history of
But
excitement.
if they split the trophy, it would fit in Nigel's fanny pack, so there is an advantage to it.
I think it would be interesting if like Joel and Nigel had to like either A, co-hoist a trophy, or like, I don't know, take a pickaxe to a crystal, or I don't know. I think there could be something funny there.
Okay, so we know that Joel's going first because he went second last game. Although that's not always the case. It really depends on how many firsts and seconds he had in the previous tournament. I think we're going to see him dumping UU.
In terms of why there can't be a tiebreaker game, I think a lot of it is just the timing of, needing to get people back home to the airport. It does seem, because we have a lunch break, maybe there would be some way to work it in there, but I think that would be something that would have to be worked out for future national championships.
And there we go. There goes the UU as expected. And we're going to get Cat, obviously. Nigel makes it, I don't know if he makes it easy on us or himself by typically placing the tiles he's about to play on the left of his rack. Oh, that did not work out well. And he will get to play Fab underneath Cat. Oh, no, he won't. Sorry. On top of Cat.
I put Joel at about 40% against Nigel, so...
Well, that's pretty high.
Per game, so 0.4 times 0.4. So I would give Joel a 16% chance to win the tournament. Okay. Maybe a little closer to 20, because I'm apparently being cynical, but, something like that.
You cynical?
Me cynical? No, never.
Never. Craig Beavers is playing Evans Clinchy, so that's 1-3.
Evans could essentially clinch the tournament here, I think, depending upon how things go, just because he's got so much spread on Jason.
Or lately I was helping create an app for my work, and I've now pronounced it Jason.
Yeah, it's pretty common to, at least in the world I come from.
He passed? He didn't play Cat?
He traded too. I don't know.
Sorry if I'm squeaking in your ears. Like, what do you think about that?
I thought it was a very strange play. Yeah.
Well, he's going to... Okay, just a sec. He knows that he passed 2. He knows that he is probably going to bingo this turn. Therefore, I'm thinking, let him just have the double word rather than a possibility of a double-double or to the triple.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely... He's hoping that the way it's going to work out is they're both going to bingo. He's betting on Joel being the first person to bingo and him bingoing right after, or Joel missing and him drawing a bingo. It's exactly what he's going for. So
he would have had by neatly if the Y was out there.
Who is commentating? Who are we?
We are the wind.
We're the wind?
Yeah.
No, I'm Conrad Bassett-Bouchard. I won the national championship in 2014, and I'm joined alongside Robin Pollock-Daniel, one of the top Scrabble females in the world, has epic word knowledge.
Epic!
And
epic.
Neither of us are playing in the tournament, so here we are.
Yeah, both of us are taking a bit of a break from Scrabble play. Both of us went back to school, and both of us graduated.
Yeah.
Conrad a year ago, me just 5 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah.
But this is our way of contributing to the Scrabble community, of being involved, even though we're not playing. I think it makes us happy to do this too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to be here. I think I'm back to a point in my life where I might want to start playing again. So I don't know if I don't know if you'll see me commentating next year, but we'll see. Why in versus bin?
To set up another hook.
Yeah, and I think it's setting up the hook. Table is like actually really, really, really good as a leave. There are so many bingos in that. Able's just very potent there, and adding it to a T. It's one of those like 5-tile leaves that you wouldn't necessarily think of, but offhand, I know that it's pretty strong. Like AELT, part of what makes that a good leave, or the tiles you're keeping, 4 tiles, is that it's tiles like B that drawing them actually really improve the rack. So he's kind of on his way.
Decomaniac, you said we had dinner in Paris. I think I know which. Was it that great steak place? It's Pierre. Hi, Pierre. Welcome. Somebody from France. How lovely. Good to see you. So that's an interesting choice. It takes the W in front, takes the C in front.
But I think it doesn't take the S. I think the S is just Collins, as in restings, not
Yeah.
resting.
Yeah. Could have played Stinger, which would have opened to the triple. So probably the right choice.
Yeah, re-sting to sting again. I have one of my good friends who plays Scrabble. We have a whole like language in which we kind of talk like that. But I won't even try to explain that on the stream. You'll just have to come out to San Francisco and see us acting like idiots.
Are we going to go digital?
Are we
We
going
have
to
different ways of being digital.
Yeah, are we going to go to digital Scrabble? I mean, I do want to throw a quick shout out to Austin Shin and David Eldar, who are starting to pilot some tablet run Scrabble tournaments in the UK. So I think it could happen eventually. I've played in a tablet-based tournament for a different word game, and I think it worked pretty well. I kind of had fun. San Francisco, it all makes sense now, huh? What gave that away?
So we see that every decision you make in Scrabble is important. Had Joel played Stinger, he would have exposed an E, and Nigel would have had Feeblest. So everything you do has a consequence for the next turn. But we see that Joel picked up a mitt full of heavy consonants, and Nigel did not give him anything to play through. If he wants to play through a vowel, he's going to have to play through the I for very little points. So
Lady Luck, any good sentences that you guys have come up with once the game was over? Because I could see some good things coming up there. Dude, Scrabble is totally lit. Aff. I like to say aff. I'm an affer. No, Scrabble can be a little slow, but it is actually.
That's why we're here. We're here to fill in the gaps.
That's why I learned how to play games at a pretty high level in 1 minute. So that when we ever popularize 1 minute or 0 minute Scrabble, I'll have an advantage on Nigel.
So I'll give you an update on CSW.
That's fair.
We have Craig Beavers playing Evans Clinchy. Can Evans clinch, as you said, with a win? I don't think so. Started well for Evans, who doubled through Craig's Fiend to play Cantinas for 90 points. Craig has clunky tiles, lots of consonants, so he played Forb, which takes the Y that is conveniently on Evans' rack, who played Yui to get rid of his one of his two U's. And I'll give you a score where we're at right now. It is 115 to 106 for Evans. So despite doubling, Craig has been able to chip away with small plays that score quite a bit. And he played the lovely Way, W-H-A-E, underneath Yui, extending 4-by, which had been with an E. So you can go online and look at it. It's kind of hard to hear me say it, but he made a lovely play for 55 points to catch up.
Yeah, so what is 0 minute Scrabble? Well, think about like Blitz chess, where you don't get very much time. A few of the top experts just decided to go to the extreme and say you get no time. So basically, for every second you use, you lose a point. So it behooves you to play faster than your opponent. And a few of us have gotten good enough to the point where we could play, pretty much the level of top 100 Scrabble players or so. In terms of Nigel or Joel's play of Raj,
look at that.
I think what he's thinking there is...
Yeah, he had set himself up not only to score, but to open up an easy bingo lane.
Yeah.
So you obviously can't play to the left of Raj because there's no letter. OJ is not good. Joel's looking at words like exoderms, clearly, which is not playable right now, but he's in the driver's seat.
Yeah, we could be seeing round 31, which is pretty amazing.
Nobody would have predicted that.
What is 0? It's literally the idea is it's just for every every second you use costs you a point, so you don't get any time to start. Is basically what it means. Yes, as someone who works staring at pixels all day and oftentimes bright colors, I would get like the worst eye strain headaches looking at bright Scrabble tiles, even though I have bright green tiles. So maybe I'm not the best person to respond, but that's kind of why the board is not terribly exciting. It hurts your eyes. God, how lame do I sound? Sorry, I'm
I'll
lame.
give you a 7.
I'm pretty lame. No, if I had my way, like the board would have like bright pink around the outside and like a nice like teal thing going on in the middle. I don't know.
So, interesting strategy. So, Nigel is behind, yet does what he often does, which is to play small within the board, not opening up anything, limiting the possibility of sticking a Raja play and coming across. There might have been something to be said for playing something like Phoebe to rain. And he's paying the price for it by having picked up VL. XO is not good in TLW. It is good in Collins, so that now is a dead area unless somebody extends X to maybe extend.
Yeah. So games are not typically resigned. We determine tiebreakers using point spread, so how much you've outscored your opponents by. So if you resigned, we wouldn't be able to use that statistic.
Lady Luck, you can't play to the left of Raj, certainly not now, but because there is no 2-letter word ending in J. So the closest one that you might have thought possible is OJ, but that is not a good word in either dictionary.
But Raj is already there.
No, but she wondered why we could not play to the left of Raj.
Oh.
And I said because there's no 2-letter words.
Okay.
At OJ. Yep.
I mean, there could be, I guess, like
this is before X went down.
Got it. It's like now it's like the most interesting part of the board. Solid. That's a Spanish word there, maybe. I mean, it's good in Scrabble, but Joel picked up some protection. I see what you did there.
Oh, that's so cute.
Oh, Moondogs! I'm gonna move the mic further away from my mouth if he plays Moondogs, because I'm gonna howl at the moon.
That was a word that was missed by one of the players during the tournament. We talked about Moondogs.
Yeah.
And if somebody remembered that because of our commentary, then we have served our purpose.
So you get gout from eating a BLT? Well, I used to work in a sandwich shop before I went to grad school, so hopefully I didn't give too many people gout.
So Joel has a somewhat obscure word to the S. It's endosmos. But he should know it, and he plays Aerolith, and it comes up quite often. So let's see if he's able to kick that in. That would be the best play for him right now. If he had not blocked the end for the double-double with X, he would have had mid-noons.
Now, Joel is trying to think very hard. I wouldn't be surprised if he was trying to think of if it's endosmos with or without the E on the end, because we have exosmos, but endosmos is only Collins. As we know, it's
with an E at the end, you mean?
Yeah, which is just Collins.
Okay, I don't think he's. I don't think he's studying his Collins 9s lately.
Yeah.
I don't see his name.
He might just not know how it's actually spelled. He might just be trying to figure out, is it endosmos that he's thinking of?
Okay. Yeah, but you know it. Like, you know it. But this could be the Nigel factor. I don't know. I didn't talk to Joel about his intimidation factor in terms of Nigel. I did have a talk with David Gibson at a Nationals a couple of years back where he was in contention to win. He was playing Nigel, and I think the word was Sadiq, whether to stick an S on it. And he, kind of insulted me by saying if I was playing you, I would have played it, but I was playing Nigel. I would have known it too. And he says, I talked myself out of it, and it cost me the game, and it ultimately cost him the tournament. So I don't know if, so he's going to go with Moon Seed, I think. Oh, no, okay. Mono Ds, that's fine too. So he's tripling the D. But he's, again, the suboptimal play, which could cause...
We're going to try to fix the sound difficulties here.
What's the matter?
I think, is it Robin's mic problem, since I haven't really said much
What's the
lately?
problem? Is it too loud?
I think it's just being weird.
Okay.
We're going to try to fix it here. Sorry about that.
Well, I don't know if I can keep talking or not. I don't know. Guys, tell me if I sound okay or not. The suboptimal play, which is not going to cost him too badly, but Nigel could have had something quite dangerous down the left of that. So you really cannot make mistakes. Sometimes Scrabble is not a fair game. Sometimes you'll actually make the worst possible play, the wrong play, and it will allow you to win the game. So sometimes doing everything absolutely correctly is not the way to go, but the trick is in knowing when to do that. Not easy.
Frickin' Mike. I blame Mike.
Back footage and fast forward. Okay.
The worst possible play doesn't work out except when it does, and then it's the best possible play.
That's exactly what it is. And I remember playing somebody, a very good player, and he says, Jesus, that was absolutely the wrong thing for me to do, but it's what resulted in him winning the game. So you never know. It's very hard to ask Nigel why he did what he did, because it's usually the answer is just like, oh, I thought, it's going to be fun to see what would happen. And okay. I guess when you've won as many tournaments as he has, it's not about winning it anymore. It's just about experimenting with what will make you a better player.
Yeah, Scrabble being complex as chess, I think
Sure.
They're both in a sense equally complicated, in the sense of one is dealing with probabilities of what is and isn't going to happen. The other one, you do ostensibly have perfect information beyond not knowing if your opponent's going to screw up. So Scrabble, yeah, as Rich mentions, is a higher dimensional space. That said, it's harder to know for certain what's going to happen. So in a sense, you can make more certain decisions in chess that you can't necessarily do in Scrabble. Yeah, I think two T's may be worse, but also the letter B and the letter L just do go well together. But we've had some chess masters along the way. I don't know if anyone's made it to chess grandmaster level. Someone out there in the community might know.
Over in CSW, Evans Clunchy has just made the lovely Visioner for 83 points. It is only revision in TWL, but he had Visioner off the V. He also had Vibroins and Visoring, but he chose Visioner, and he's now up 305 to 190. Now remember, he is in first place. He's playing number 3, who has one game less than him, and Evans has a cum of 962 to Craig Beaver's 842. Jason really is in the most vulnerable place. Even though he's got one game up, he has a comparatively poor cum at 499, so Jason obviously has to just keep winning his games because he's not going to do it on cum.
And if Jason wins and Evans wins, then they'll just play one game for the finals.
And whoever wins it is going to, then all that work for that cum is down the drain.
Yeah, and interestingly, that is looking like what's going to happen here as well. Unless Nigel pulls off a...
Well, it's still early. Geez, we haven't even seen the second blank.
Yeah, well, down 107 with only blank S, JQ left, and a terrible rack. And another good rack coming up for Joel. I'd be willing to take pretty good odds on Joel winning this game.
That's quite a feather in your cap. If you had to win 3 games against Nigel to win a tournament and you do it, I think you can say, you know what, I'm pretty good.
Yeah, well, once upon a time in 2009, same situation. Dave Wiegand had to win 4 out of 5 against Nigel to win the national championship, and he did. That was his second victory. What would Scrabble be like constrained to only the top 1,000 most used words? I feel like that's kind of like what some of the school games look like in terms of bingos.
It's like playing Volost.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're good, we'll tell you what Volost is, but we'll keep that private for now.
Wouldn't that be if they were bad?
That's true. If you're bad, we'll tell you what Volost is.
Well, there goes... Nigel has discovered the other blank, and a nice spot for it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And Nigel did it against Brian as well.
Now, obviously, Joel's not going to play Quate to the R in resting, because it takes an E in front. But I don't know what more he's got to do.
I mean, it's Quarte or Quatre underneath the M, just in a sense of...
I think that might be fun.
Yeah, I mean, it scores well, and if Nigel bingos underneath...
He opens up a
ME,
triple.
he opens up a big spot.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Interestingly, this game, Joel, is actually only 1 minute off of Nigel in terms of time, so he's going to be feeling a lot more comfortable and not as pressed.
Yeah. So in this case, it's not a best of anything. It's just how things have worked out. Joel needed to win 3 games this morning. So far has won 1 game and is well on his way to winning the second game, in which case...
Although Nigel does have the blank, so we'll see. He's got Bristol lined up to play MO and Oil.
You're making me feel like an optimist.
I don't know how anyone can do that. Okay, so Bristol, I have a feeling, hopefully, it should be blocked because there aren't a lot of choices for Joel right now. It really does make a lot of sense to play Quarte, Quarte, underneath me. And we're looking at our championship player, and right now it's agreeing with us as well. Or you can play Quatre. There we go. Now, we could have a discussion about whether Quatre or Quarte is better. But, sometimes that kind of minute detail could be the difference between winning and not winning.
Yeah, I think it's up to the player to know when it is or isn't, and when you should not waste your time and, kind of go for it.
So we have a score of 282 to 143, so that's a huge deficit to overcome.
Yeah, we'll probably see Bristol still come down now, making mites, just trying to keep the board wide open for that last S.
Yeah, the B will double, and he'll open up a triple-triple.
Yeah. There is also Sorbitol over on the left side, but knowing Nigel, he's going to want to keep lots of things open. So given that there's only 1 S remaining unseen...
Is there a Y left for Mighty?
I think both Ys still remain.
Open. I think he's going to play Sorbitol. You think he's going to play Bristol?
Well, he does have Bristol spelled out on his rack.
Yeah, but
that opening that S hook at the bottom is great for him right now. He's down 140. He'll still be down 60 with 1 S remaining.
Because it's probably the right play, I'm going to say he's going to play Sorbitol. Because he just does that stuff.
You're making me feel so optimistic today.
it's just what he does. Even though, I'll say, you're behind. Why aren't you opening the board? And he just doesn't do it. It's not a matter of points. It's really just a 1-point difference.
We could Scrabble prop bet right here. What is Nigel gonna do? Maybe I'm speaking too soon. Maybe I shouldn't be making prop bets right now.
This is one of the reasons I get this job. I'm the Scrabble whisperer.
Yeah.
I just know how he plays. He just he defies logic. And she wins. The duck liked sorbitol, I believe. I don't know how far an iteration we did.
I would say Quackle doesn't really know how to handle this position, so I don't really care what Quackle says here.
If it quacks like a duck. Now he's put that dangerous L.
Yeah.
Okay, so far not looking good. A little better with the peak that we all love. We hate that WU. Not good. Not good. Not good.
Wow, I pun. Yeah, you guys haven't gotten to hear my terrible puns yet. Oh, thank goodness. I won't start now. Fortunately, I'm too tired. No pun hype.
If he had played sorbitol, it's not like Joel had anything good to play there. He actually did him a favor.
Next best turn is ow, I pwn you, and resting.
I'm looking to the left of Tug and Monades to see how he can come down. Maybe just something as simple as Dan.
I'm not.
It's not necessary right now.
The reason I would consider a Quackle play being wrong is that, and I'll get nerdy for a sec here, is if you're making simulations based on plays that aren't being simulated, then it's really hard to prove that a play is right. So basically what I'm saying is there's no real reason to assume that Quackle's right when the simulation heuristics being used are fairly low level.
Somebody liked landed, amended. It has its positives for sure. But one of the nice things about leaving that lane open, lane 14, for to bingo on, is that it does then expose the triple lane below it. He made it very easy for Nigel to get off his W's. But he's got a pretty nice rack. It's just a little difficult to bingo now without it being, I think it has to be a 7 unless you start off the L. You have sudation, duration.
Yeah, so for starters, Quackle, Ed's right. Quackle doesn't take into account knowledge of the opponent, which is something humans are able to do. By low-level simulation heuristics, what I mean is when you ask Quackle to simulate a play, it plays out the game in advance thousands and thousands and thousands of times to try to tell you how the game will play out. The problem is that the original list of plays that Quackle generates for each play, it's not simulating those plays. So if the list of candidate plays that you're seeing in the simulation further out are not correct, then it's hard to base the actual simulation decision on that.
Only a very unlikely play would keep Nigel from being...
Right now, Evans is still beating Craig Beavers by a score of 348 to 267, so an 81-point difference. Altogether, there are 20 tiles remaining. But it's looking like a win for Evans Clinchy. So what does that mean? If Evans wins and Craig loses, Craig is now incapable of winning the tournament because he'll only have 20 wins, and Evans will be at 22. It's entirely then incumbent upon Jason Keller to beat Evan Borofsky in order to challenge Evans for the tournament. Otherwise, Evans will have clinched the tournament in this round. And that's all she wrote. What do we do? What do we do? Still 2 Ys unseen. It would be amazing, Joel, right now, if he could get a Y and block that mighty hook right there, forcing, it would also then block row 14 under ME. That would be ideal. It would force Nigel to either bingo off the L or to bingo in row K, opening up a triple-triple. Unless he can bingo to oh no and make an S there. So that's what's the options that are starting to be limited to Nigel right now. Anybody have any thoughts about what should be played now? What is the MEOU is being suggested? That's not bad. Well, there you go. That worked out really well. Again, DT can be a problematic combination. There's so many words using D as the past tense, so yes, it's lovely. But if you don't have the E, the DT is not very synergistic. They fight each other. So we'll see what Joel picks up. We'd love to have an E right now. All right, Daintier.
I'm sad Moondogs didn't get played either. I wanted to howl for you guys. But I guess I also if it was the best play, then that's life.
Dinitro. Very, very hard soon to get things to fit.
You have a question from Not Just Numbers. What's your favorite grocery anagram?
What's your favorite grocery anagram? Oh,
Getting a tough one.
This is my son, so I think he thinks I know an answer. What do you mean by grocery? The actual food or the name of a grocery store? Tell me what you mean. Distrain, very nice. He's got nothing right now. Those wires are proving really elusive. I liked Mew a lot, actually. It forced Nigel to, bingo off one of those 2 letters. Or through. Oh, okay. How did you know about that, Mina? Okay.
Oh, it came up in the chat a few minutes ago.
Oh, did it? Yeah. So what did he say? Did he say, yeah, so we have a board? Did he explain all that? We have a board in the kitchen. And if we need cilantro, I'll put contrail. I'll put chipotle. I'll put helicopter. I'll do stuff like if we need eggs, I'll put ova. I don't know. It's just kind of fun.
Tony, do you know the anagram of Wegmans?
Swagman?
I wanted to.
Oh, I'm
give
sorry.
I know you know it.
I'm
You've
sorry.
spent 8 billion hours learning words.
Sorry. I heard an anagram. I jumped.
Yeah. Next time I'm gonna give you like a 15.
Because you know I can do the 14s, right?
Yeah, exactly.
There's a time to start. This might be it.
Yeah.
All right. Nigel continues to pick crap. The lead is only 48, but he ain't going nowhere. He does have the Y. It would probably behoove him to play something like AYE, off mighty, to open up the an easier hook. He doesn't have an S right now. You're not often going to bingo with that Y, so... but again, the disadvantage is that it will force him to bingo along row N, which will open up a triple row. I see Evans Clinchy over here has moisture, trisomy, erotism, etc. on his rack, and we'll see if he got to play something. Yes, he played erotism.
ShopRite is trophies, just so we're clear. Safeway is, I don't think, anything. Like Wayfarers.
Okay, Joel is now has half of the time left that Nigel does, and he's going to have to at some point make some decisions. So you're seeing that the racks are not terrible racks, but in terms of the right thing to do is that's exactly what's taking so long right now. How do I make sure I win, limit Nigel, and not give him anything? He doesn't have an E to go to the right of resting. We've never seen a C. The C haven't come out. None of the W's went on top of it. Oh, that was something that, if he had not given him wow, we probably would have seen something with resting with a W from Nigel over there.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say if Joel holds on here, the next game will be TWL.
So you see what Joel has done. He's made a word that does not take an S. So I'm liking what I'm seeing with Joel. He's doing some neat stuff.
It's definitely like it's very Joel-ian.
Quackle had suggested Inti, and it does take an S, so probably not as good a choice. He did pick up an E, did he? Look at that. Now, we have our Ladybug moment. Do you know what that reference is to, my co-commentator? Ladybug is at a world championship many years ago. Dave Boyce had Ladybug on his rack. He could have played it, but it would have opened up a triple-triple, and he did the math. He saw there was a triple-triple available, and it would lose him the game, so he forewent playing Ladybug. Same thing here. Will it make sense for Joel to forego Thorold to the right of resting?
Well, Nigel's keeping a leave that would go quite nicely with a well-placed T.
That being said, I believe a similar situation happened to Joel Wapnick at a world championship. He did not play the bingo, and he ended up losing not only the game, but the entire championship. I think that was to Mark Nyman.
Well, it looks like Thorold is coming down, and it looks like Nigel drew too many vowels there. So,
I thought he had drawn 8. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
No, Joel has gotten away with it, and I think we are going to game 31. Who would have thought that last night that we were going to be doing TWL exclusively?
Yeah,
Wow.
I was offering to give people 100 to 1 odds on Nigel. No, not quite 100 to 1 odds, but certainly 20 to 1. I was willing to take action on 20 to 1. Guess I'm glad I didn't do that. Also, I have a lunch writing on Nigel winning, so
Just a second. Somebody bet you on a Nigel. Did you take he's going to lose?
Mac Meller, one of the top players in Division 1, let me have Nigel, himself, and Will, and he got the entire field. The winner, or the loser, had to buy lunch in Vermont, where we're headed after the tournament.
Over in SW, Evans Clinchy could have used the blank to make Zulu, Zo, Ut, Lu, Li, and Us, but decided just to play the Zo because it was on a triple letter. So he's up 412 to 323 with no tiles left in the bag and no place for Craig to bingo. So almost certainly, and Evans does have a blank and an S on his rack, so almost certainly we're going to say that Evans has won the tournament, actually. So we didn't need to go to CSW this morning.
Wow.
That's quite a turnaround because he was not in first place for much of the tournament. It was all
he was.
Evan and Jason, and Wow. Wow. So
Yeah.
never count yourself out in a tournament.
No.
You never know what's going to happen.
Although Nigel is probably going to bingo again. But, I mean, it'll be too little too late, I think. But
I was looking down. Did Nigel play Ani? Just
Yeah.
like that?
yeah,
That's very interesting.
I think he was trying to go for a big bingo or
Of
the
course he
triple-triple.
was.
I mean,
Of course. But hoping that he didn't have the L. But wow.
So while he did, in
Okay.
fact, draw a bingo, it won't score enough to win the game.
So a little bit of strategy. The reason why Nigel did that is that he already has the triple open, and he wanted to create another very scary opening. A bit more scary if he didn't have 1 point tiles like Ani to double with his S. But that was exactly the reason why he did it, in order to create 2 huge openings that would give him the greatest chance of making over 100 points. Yeah, he will get overside, but it will be too little too late.
I mean, it'll almost be enough with all the tiles left on Joel's rack, but he'll still come up about 20-ish points short.
I guess one of the disadvantages of having the word knowledge that Nigel does is that he can't sit there for 2 minutes going, what is that bingo through
Yeah.
the T? Like,
Yeah.
he knows it's not
Yeah.
there.
What if?
The hope gets quashed much faster than
Yeah.
it would for a normal person.
And so with that play, it's going to make a final score of 451 to 422. Joel has now won 2 of the 3 games he needs to win the championship.
Definitely made it look like it was closer than it was, but this was Joel's game all throughout.
Yeah.
And he did a good job with the Raj play, and he got rid of the J and the X, made some points, blocked the board, and things worked out well for him. Made quattro when he needed to, made the right play.
Yeah, so I gave Nigel about a 60% advantage in each game. So that's why I was kind of taking 20 to 1. But I want to make the wanted to make the action a bit interesting. 100 to 1. I think I was just thinking it was unlikely. Really, 20 and 1 is really what I was thinking about, I think.
Well, this is utterly incredible.
Yeah.
We're so thrilled to be able to bring this extremely exciting final to you. We thought it might be, well, who would have thought last night that the championship for one of the 2 tournaments, for 2 tournaments, would be decided in CSW before TWL, with Nigel 2 games ahead of the pack. We almost certainly
And yeah.
we thought it would be over in the first or the second game, and here we are going to a 3rd game, and it's still not decided.
Yeah, between the 2 of them, they have 6 national championships and I think a similar amount of world championships. Granted, Nigel owns most of those,
Most of those.
but Joel has, in his own right, won both a national and a world championship. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens in this final.